Hey everybody, so yesterday I made a video and I might have made it seem like everybody I'm meeting since I've become single is really super desperate. That's not the case. I have come across a lot of desperate people, but I've also made a lot of great friends that aren't desperate at all and aren't really looking for anything, and they're just living life, and that's wonderful and it's amazing because that's the same place I'm in and I love it. I think that's great. But I'm coming across desperate people, and desperation is so ugly. It's just really, really ugly. And I feel like, I don't want to say we've all been there. I know that I've been there where I felt like I needed to be in a relationship or with somebody all the time. Like it was a need of mine, but it was so wrong. Like I didn't, you don't need somebody all the time. You don't absolutely need to be in a relationship. I don't feel like you need to. I've met people that said, oh yeah, it's been proven that there are some people that need that. No, I don't know. I don't think so. Like I feel like if you feel like you need somebody there all the time, or you need a label on somebody, that you're missing something within yourself. And I've had it happen a lot now where I talk to people and it's like a rush to get to the label. It is like a rush to put the relationship or boyfriend or husband even label on myself or on other people or anybody that they can find to be able to put that label on, and it just shows, and it looks really bad. It's really ugly. And it's nothing against those people that feel that need. I think that everybody wants to be, I think everybody wants to be loved. I feel like everybody wants to be loved. But rushing towards a label or looking for a boyfriend or looking for love doesn't get you to that point any faster. And whenever you get to that point, I feel like if you're rushing it or trying to get to that point with just anybody, that it's not going to be exactly what you're expecting. And I feel like a lot of people, and I speak from experience, I speak from experience, I'm not putting people down, I speak from my own experience and knowing that whenever I've been in that place where I feel like I just need to put a label on anybody, and anybody can fit that role, and I wouldn't, in that place I wouldn't believe that. In that place I would have thought, oh no, I wasn't just putting anybody in there, it was the perfect person. But looking back on it, it was more so I had this box that I created. This is the perfect person, and if they met the physical attributes, and they met these emotional attributes, then they were perfect for it. They could be put in that box. And I didn't really even need that person to want to be in the box or need that person to want me to fit in their box or for me to fit in their box. But I created this box and I wanted to put someone in it. And most times it could be just about anybody. You meet within my certain age range that I have, and you look attractive to me, and my heart flutters whenever I'm around you, and we're good to go. We can be married, we can have kids and a family. I don't care anything else that's at. And it was so wrong, and it's such a wrong place to be. But I understand it, and I get it, and I get why people do it. There are a lot of people that have gone through life and maybe didn't feel love in a relationship sense, in a romantic relationship sense, and now maybe they're to a point in their life where anybody could just fit in there. Like anybody that meets those requirements to be in that box could just fit in there, and it's just perfect because they've seen it in the world around them so much. And whenever you get on like Facebook, or you get on Twitter, or you get on any social network, and you are seeing other people's happy moments in a relationship, I can see where that would make you want that, because what you're seeing a lot of times in those social networks is just their happy moments. You're not seeing their struggles. You're not seeing the difficulties of being in a relationship. And it kind of makes you appreciate being single even less, because you think, oh, well, that person always has that person. But you know what the downside of that is? That person is always with that person. Like, that person always has that person. And it's not all it's cracked up to be. Relationships and fitting somebody into that box and finally finding somebody that kind of just works in that box is not all it's cracked up to be. It's really not. There are a lot of challenges that come with that. You have to, especially like if you live together, if you end up moving in together, you have to like adjust yourself to them, and they're in your space. So you're living together, and if you're sleeping in the same bed, which most couples I think do, like you adjust to them, and so you have to sacrifice in that. And sometimes those sacrifices are way worth it. They are so worth it. And yes, relationships can be really, really great and amazing, and that's what you see on the Facebook, and that's what you see on Instagram, and I guess maybe Tumblr or whatever, all these social networks. You see those great moments, and it makes you want to be in those great moments. And those great moments are what I in relationships I've had. That's what I shared, were the great moments. But I would oftentimes forget or didn't really want to be in the negative spot of sharing the bad times and the struggles. Like, you have to adjust to the person's family. You have to adjust to like everything with that person. And sometimes the sacrifices really don't feel like they're worth it. Like, you're giving up you. You're giving up pieces of you to be able to fit perfectly in that. So it's not always what it's cracked up to be. But back to the point, desperation is really, really ugly. And I always say this, and I've been saying this, and as I'm back into this singlehood and being single again, I find myself giving some advice to some people, because it gets really scary sometimes whenever I get messages. And whenever I get messages and it's like 12 days straight, like I'm on Grindr, and I don't mind admitting that I'm on Grindr. I go in there to make friends, have fun. I don't care. It's like it's not necessarily a natural thing, but it is a natural thing. It's where gays go to meet, and I don't mind saying that. I'm on Grindr. But I get on Grindr, and there will be people that write me 12 days straight. Hi, 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 hi. Hey, how are you? Hi, hi, hi. Hey. And I won't respond once, and they keep on going, and I think, I'm not into this guy. There's something about the guy that makes me not into them. Why can they not realize that I see something in them that holds me back from wanting them to be a part of my life, I guess. And I struggle with that, because I feel like I'm rejecting people, but I'm not rejecting, like I'm not going and saying, hey, no, you don't meet my criteria of a friend or of fun or even eventually a relationship or whatever. Like, you don't meet that criteria. So I don't say anything, but they just keep on going, and I don't want to block them, because again, that's going to be a rejection, and plus you only have so many blocks on Grindr, and I just don't want to use them. So I get a lot of messages where I'm just like, I'm not going to respond to it, and I don't respond to it, and I hope it doesn't hurt their feelings, but like I see something in them that doesn't match what I'm looking for in a friend or more. And so instead of like wasting both of our times, I keep on getting these messages, hi, 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 over and over again. But I'll get messages, and sometimes I'll talk to people, and I don't mind talking to people if I don't feel like it's going to be a problem. And I'll talk to people if I'm attracted to them, of course, or if I see the chance for more based off their profile, or attraction. But I'll talk to people, and sometimes within a few messages, I already can kind of see desperation. There was somebody I talked to a few days ago, and they, within 3 or 4 messages, sent me this long story about how they were just getting out of a relationship, and the relationship was 4 years, and the person cheated on them and they were jaded because this person cheated on them. And then it was just a long list of everything the person did wrong. And to top it all off, the person was now openly in search of their next boyfriend after just getting out of this 4-year relationship where they were jaded. No, thank you. The reason no thank you, for one, I'm not rushing to anything, and I have promised myself 150, 200% over and over again that this time being single, I am not going to rush into anything with anybody, because I deserve the best for me, and the only way to figure out what is best for me is to take my time and to get to know people. And if it becomes more, great, but it's going to become more over time. And if it gives me a chance to figure out the person, and if we really match or not, and if we don't, I'm not throwing a label on it. I refuse to throw a label on just anything. It's not happening. So that kind of threw me off. Whenever the guy writes and says, I've been in a relationship for 4 years, I just got out of the relationship, he was cheating, blah, 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 and all this story about the negative, and yeah, no, I don't want that. I'm not, no. If you are looking for anything other than friends or fun in that moment, no. Because I don't feel like you should be looking for, and I get that people put that on there because they want people to know that they are open to whatever. In their profiles they put that, it says looking for, and they put relationship or dating or whatever it happens to be. And like, that's fine, because it shows that you're open to that. And I get that maybe you aren't exactly looking for, but within 3 or 4 messages you tell me you are looking for a relationship or a boyfriend or a husband or a marriage or anything that involves commitment, and you're looking for it right away. No, because you're trying to fit me into this box, and I don't fit well into boxes, because I'm not going to change to fit into that box. I'm going to be myself, and I'm going to take the time to, if I'm going to get into something where there's a label or I'm having to be in a box, I'm going to fit perfectly in that box as I am. I'm not even going to fit perfectly into it. I'm not, because I'm me, and you're going to have to know that you have to adjust to me, and I'm going to have to adjust to you some, but I'm not going to change who I am to be able to make you, your family, anyone else happy. Like, I'm going to continue to be me, and if that doesn't work, we're not going to work, so we shouldn't put a label on it anyway. Also, the reason why I want to take time on it is because if we're meant to be, then we will still be meant to be in a year. We will still be meant to be in 10 years. And, well, not 10 years. I won't take 10 years, I don't think. That's crazy long. But we'll still be meant to be over time. And we'll know that it fits perfectly because we took the time to get to know each other and we didn't rush anything. So my advice I tell people is this: look for friends, because that friendship can become so much more, or it can stay a friendship, and at bare minimum you get a friend out of the deal, and that's perfect. Like, that's amazing. If you can make friends and then work from that, then you're ahead of the game, and you're better off than being on this rush to find love, or on this rush to find a boyfriend, or any of the other labels that you want to put on it. You're better off, because you'll end up with a bunch of friends at bare minimum, and then hopefully somewhere in that mix you connect. You have to connect, and you can become more with somebody in that mix, and you want to spend time with people, not because they're in some label you put on them, but because you love spending time with them, and you love the person they are, and they also love the person you are and love spending time with you. If you rush to put a label on something, there's no way to tell. And some people get into a label, or get into putting that title on somebody, boyfriend, husband, whatever it is. Boyfriend, I'm hoping that's how it starts. I hope that nobody really rushes to husband like that, but boyfriend, And then you get in and you're like, oh my God, this is not what I expected with this person. And then it's kind of like, okay, you've already invested because you put the label on there. How do you back out of that and without looking ridiculous? Because most likely if you put the boyfriend label on it, you've already shared pictures of the person, you've already told your friends, your friends might have even met them, and now you can't really back out because you're invested in it. I guess you can back out, it just looks really, really bad. So slow down, slow down. You don't have to be desperate. Spend time with friends, make friends, spend time with friends, hang out, take your time. There's no rush, and the moments are what matter. The stories, the moments that you're experiencing with people are what matter, not what you call the person. Yeah. And so, and that's a hard pill to take because there are a lot of people that have taken their time or had never really had the chance to be with somebody. And once they get that chance, it's like, oh my God, we got to save this person. We got to fit them in the box. Hurry, hurry, hurry. No, don't. Don't hurry, hurry, hurry. You're worth more than that. And you deserve better than that. And they deserve better than that. And you can take your time and let things just work out on their own. And, you know, it's scary. It is very scary because sometimes we kind of get to that point, I think, where we're like, if I don't save this one, will there be another one? And the same thing, we get into that relationship right away and we're like, oh shoot, things aren't what they're supposed to be. But if I let this go, who else is out there? Is there someone else out there for me? Maybe there's not, and I'm scared. Don't be scared. Just because and even if there's not anyone out there for you, you're making friends that you can spend time with and enjoy, and will be able to enjoy long after you're in a relationship if you end up being in a relationship. That's something else. Don't let the relationship steal your possibility of keeping and making new friends. I think once you're in a relationship, you have to make friends differently, but don't let the relationship steal that, because the friends are important. So you will have made friends in that, and if something doesn't work with that person, it's not meant to be anyway. You're wasting your time. So there's no need to be desperate. There's no need to be like on the hunt for the kill, like nonstop, because no, you're better than that. You are so much better than that. As a human, you are so much better than that. Don't get to that desperate point. It's hard. It's hard being alone. It can be very difficult, but it can also be very great. Appreciate it while you have it. Appreciate being single. Appreciate yourself. Learn to love yourself. If you learn to love yourself, you don't need anybody else's love, but you're open to accepting other people's love once you learn to love being alone, being who you are at any moment. And then the addition of a relationship whenever you get there is just that much better, because you're already loving yourself. You don't have to depend on them loving you, because they may get to a point where they don't love you anymore because you rushed into this relationship thing and you're in this place where you need it, or like you depend on it, and then when that's taken away, it's just that much worse. So learn to love yourself. Continue to love yourself once you're in a relationship. Don't rush to a relationship. Don't be desperate. People read your desperation. And yes, you might be able to find someone that's willing to rush for you, but guess what? They're desperate too. Don't rush. Don't rush. Don't rush.